And the Biden administration is suing Texas over a floating barrier in the Rio Grande. The 1,000-foot-long string of buoys is anchored to the bottom of the river. Officials say it poses a significant drowning risk for migrants attempting to cross into the United States and that it violates federal law. CBS News immigration reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez joins us now here in studio. Camilo, last time we saw each other here, because we've seen each other since, we were talking about these buoys and whether or not they would ever even be put up. Clearly they have been.
Yes.
Talk to us about what are the legal arguments at this point, and we can discuss all of the other concerns and risks.
Sure. So Texas is arguing, Lilia, that its constitutional authority allows the state to take several steps to stop the entry of migrants into the U.S., including by setting up these barriers in the middle of the Rio Grande. Governor Greg Abbott, a Republican, has called this an invasion. Obviously, there's a debate about whether that term should be used in this context because, again, no military offensive is being waged along the U.S.-Mexico border, but that is the legal basis that the governor is citing.
And seeking asylum is legal. Correct.
That is a right that they have under U.S. law. The Biden administration, Lilia, is arguing that these barriers are unlawful because Texas did not seek permission from the federal government to set them up. And because of that, the Justice Department is arguing that these barriers violate a longstanding federal law that governs waterways controlled by the federal government. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is not backing down. In many ways, he is doubling down, and this dispute is obviously now going to be resolved in court, first by a federal district court in Austin, Texas, but this case could very well reach the U.S. Supreme Court. I think one of the questions that many people have asked is if the federal government believes that these barriers are illegal,
I mean, they
why
have the jurisdiction.
Don't they just remove them?
Right.
I think from the administration's perspective, that would be a very confrontational and drastic step, and they want a legal basis before taking that sort of action.
But that's still an option for the federal government, given that they do have the jurisdiction to...
I believe so, but I think it's unlikely at this point.
I see.
Yeah.
Operation Lone Star is something that we both covered extensively with ride-alongs, et cetera. It's not just this.
No.
Just take us back a little bit into what other policies are part of this and the questions that surround whether or not they are legal.
Well, the state has bused more than 27,000 migrants to Democratic-led cities. That is another major component of this operation, including here to New York, to Chicago, Philadelphia, Denver, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C. The state is also arresting some migrant adults on state trespassing charges. And the reason that the state is doing that is because it does not have the legal authority, again, to arrest migrants on immigration violations or to deport them to a foreign country like Mexico. That is solely the jurisdiction and the legal responsibility of the federal government. The Justice Department is reviewing and assessing problems and concerns about the larger, broader Operation Lone Star, but I think it took this quick action against the buoys, the river barriers, because it's a pretty relatively straightforward case to make. But I think that's something that we should monitor, whether the Justice Department files another legal challenge against these other components of this larger operation, which is pretty sprawling. But despite that, it still only affects a relatively small number of migrants compared to the overall number of people crossing the border each month.
And just briefly talk to us about, what the concern is, because of course we know that this could kill people.
Well, the concern from advocates and from the administration is that these barriers are going to divert migrants into more dangerous and deeper parts of the Rio Grande, where they're more likely to drown. And that's not only the concern of advocates and the administration, but now we heard from a Texas state trooper, a medic, who said that the barriers are indeed doing that. They are diverting people to more dangerous parts of the river where they could drown.
It's what we've seen happen with so many other policies. Camilo Montoya-Galvez, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lilia.